Hello everyone, Ace here, and today we are back with my Let's Play of the Roman campaign for the Art of Conquest expansion for Empire Earth. So, here we are, the very final mission of the entire campaign, Rome's Pharaoh. Let's dive right in, shall we?
Although Pompey had been defeated, Caesar knew that while he still lived, he would remain a threat to the new dictator's power in Rome. So, Caesar quickly embarked as many troops as possible and sailed off in pursuit of his enemy, to Egypt. Disembarking at Alexandria, Caesar found a city in turmoil. The people were starving and close to rioting. Two ruling factions, Ptolemy and his sister Cleopatra, were locked in a bitter dispute over the rightful rule of Egypt. Cleopatra controlled the city itself, while Ptolemy held sway over most of the countryside. Caesar and his legions were about to find themselves in the middle of a civil war. Forming up his men, Caesar decided to immediately march on the royal palace and seize both rulers and force them to surrender Pompey. Only then would he look to the issue of helping to solve Egypt's troubles.
Okay then. So here's the history for this particular video. I'm not going to read it to you myself, but if you do wish to read it yourself, and I do recommend doing so, feel free to pause the video now. Alright. And here are the hints. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in, shall we?
Great Caesar, Ptolemy sends greetings and hopes you will soon join him to discuss Egypt's future in the new imperial Rome. As a token of his esteem and respect, he has asked me to deliver the head of Pompey, a former enemy of Egypt's present friend.
Queen Cleopatra also sends her regards, mighty Caesar, and eagerly anticipates the moment you will meet to discuss how Egypt and Rome can ensure each other's prosperity and security. She offers the hospitality of Alexandria and warns of the treachery of our brother Ptolemy.
Because Alexandria is all she can offer. The whole of Egypt stands behind Ptolemy, Caesar, not this upstart girl. This city's misguided politics shall soon be rectified.
All of Egypt is under Ptolemy's heel is what you mean. The people despise him, great Caesar, and everyone supports the rightful ruler Cleopatra in their hearts.
I have seen Pompey's forces destroyed and his head is at my feet. Therefore, my objectives are complete. As for Egypt's troubles, I cannot decide what the proper course of action should be. It has been a long voyage and I am weary from campaigning. I shall let my pets decide. Romulus, Remus, which of these envoys would you like to eat? To the other we shall give aid.
Alright, so historically, Caesar, of course, sided with Cleopatra, but in this video, we're actually going to be siding with Ptolemy. However, I'm going to have to do things a little bit differently in this video than normal. There's a reason for this. I don't know what exactly is going on with the game, if it's intended to be this way or not, but the mission is a lot more difficult when you side with Ptolemy instead of Cleopatra. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Maybe they're trying to offer up a false sense of choice by letting you choose at the start like this. Which, to be fair, Caesar did have the opportunity to choose, but the reality is, yeah, I can do the Cleopatra version of the mission. In fact, I've already done so. You can actually watch that video. I'm going to be uploading both versions of this particular mission up here. And like I've said, I've already done the Cleopatra side of things. In fact, I was able to beat that on my very first go playing this. The siding with Ptolemy, however, well, there's a number of problems. First of all, you see all these units here? That's not going to be the worst of it. They're going to be spawning at least 2 or 3 waves within the first maybe minute or two. And what I mean by waves is you'll have a bunch of Egyptian spearmen showing up. You'll have some scorpions, which are the area of effect siege units. So things that can wreck multiple units in one shot. And you're going to see a lot more other stuff too. Point being, we're going to be pretty badly outnumbered if we tried to do this mission legitimately here. So you may be thinking, well, why not try to flee to one of the gates, which is what you're actually supposed to do. And once Caesar gets to one of these gates, it will actually change sides. It will turn to your side, and you'll be able to go through it as you wish. Problem is, again, they're going to be spamming so many units that even with the help of these guys down here, for example, you're still going to get absolutely swarmed. So you're going to have to fall back to, say, here to the hospital to heal up. And then, of course, comes the counterattacks and whatnot. Now, I have tried this mission enough times to, well, try several different strategies. I've tried that. I've tried going to this gate. Similar problem. In fact, with this one, it's even worse, of course, because you've got the towers here and here that are going to ruin your day. And then, of course, there's the town center that's pretty much in the way, too. That's going to be spawning more units. See, the way this particular mission works is that Ptolemy's units actually spawn from the bases here, here, and here. So if he loses any of these bases, he doesn't get reinforcements from them anymore. Cleopatra gets her reinforcements from the two town centers, this one here, the capital here, and the other town center, which should be right here. And your goal, if you side with Ptolemy, is to capture the two town centers plus the capital. Siding with Cleopatra means destroying the 3 bases that Ptolemy has. Now, I don't know why you might be noticing the big Cleopatra base here. I don't know if this was actually meant to be Ptolemy's, and they decided it was a bit too imbalanced because it favored him a bit too much or something. I don't know what is going on there. But I can tell you this much. At least with the Ptolemy, at least if you side with Cleopatra, the mission is definitely doable. The first few minutes can be hectic, but it definitely is doable. Now, you may be wondering what exactly I am waiting on here also, though that is a huge part of my strategy. You see, even though I haven't selected anyone yet, the way it works is, by the way, you have to select one of these 2 envoys for your 2 tigers to eat. And the other one, of course, is the other faction is, of course, the faction you side with. But anyways, so what I am doing right now, because I can't move any of the other units, in fact, I can show you what I mean. Can't move him. I can move the tigers, and that is literally it. But here's the key. There are actually going to be reinforcements coming in soon. They actually come in periodically, and if you've seen my other video, you will, of course, have seen this in action. Even though I have not actually started up the fight yet, these transport ships are still en route. Now, there is another problem, by the way, I should mention. The Ptolemy mission, actually, siding with Ptolemy, also seems to give you a time limit of something like, say, 2 hours or so. And that can be... And that's something that I don't think the Cleopatra version of it has. So that makes it even harder, if you can believe it. But I legitimately think that either they meant it to be a no-win really scenario if you side with Ptolemy, or they just simply messed up on the respawn rates or the respawn numbers. Because here's the thing. I've actually seen Cleopatra get, and this is with me still trying to whittle down her forces, something like somewhere between 900 and 1,000 units. By that point, it is insane. So yeah. Unfortunately, I know I'm rambling a bit, and I know that it's not necessarily the most interesting video. Pretty sure I've sped this up as fast as it will go, but I think I might have forgot to do that at the start here, which is unfortunate, but The reinforcements should be on their way pretty soon. Anyways, though, aside from that, I have noticed I don't think I've seen anyone else actually complete or do a full video of how to beat the mission while siding with Ptolemy. And to be honest with you, after having played it as many times as I have, I think I understand why that is, though. Now, if you don't believe me, well, you're of course all free to try the mission out yourself and come to your own conclusion on this matter. Let's do a little bit more sightseeing. So we, of course, have the Pharaoh's Lighthouse up there, and we have the Library of Alexandria, which I do think are some nice touches to history here, of course. Makes perfect sense since they are both in the game anyways. There we go. Well, how many troops we have? Well, our pop right now is at 44. I'm going to wait until we have at least 3 sets of reinforcements, so that's the first set. I know it's going to take a little while. I think, though, that once the first set of reinforcements comes in, I think it might actually speed up a little bit. But I do have a strategy in mind, though. Don't worry about that. Now, another thing, those of you who have seen the Cleopatra, me siding with Cleopatra, will know. One of the things that will happen is, in that case, if you side with her, Ptolemy will try to attack the pyramids to collect the Book of the Dead. Turns out Cleopatra will try to do the same thing here, except there is actually a way to actually, if you can believe it, protect yourself from Cleopatra's attempts too. Let's get these guys into position. And you can do this without any troops whatsoever, because apparently she has to get the pyramid down to half health for the trigger in the mission to kick off and for you to lose the mission that way. If, however, you were to say, since it gives you direct control of it, if you were to say, click on it yourself and delete it, destroy the pyramid here, she obviously wouldn't be able to bring it down to half health herself, which means you're able to spare yourself a game over in that situation. It does, I'm pretty sure it works also if you side with Cleopatra against Ptolemy as well, so if you want to use that as a cheese strategy, that is an option, at least from what I've seen. Okay, we've got that. Alright, so what exactly else do we have to deal with here? It looks like, here's the thing, I want to have as many guys as possible. One of the things I'm going to try to do once I get more reinforcements is I'm going to try to place them here as well. And then once I have the final set, let's see, how close are we? We're at 70 some. So I think one more would actually put me close to 100, which might actually be enough to pull it off. We might actually be able to get away with just one more reinforcement. I don't know. We'll go ahead and check it out. When it comes to the units that Cleopatra is going to be using, by the way, there are some that she's going to have that are a bit different that she tends to prioritize, I've noticed. For example, elephant archers. She's big on that for some reason. And, well, the good news is these guys can actually counter them because, of course, shock infantry counters archers. she does have these, but she doesn't seem to spawn any more of them after you take out these 4 guys here. She does, however, have these guys, and these guys can be a problem. They're the Royal Guard, if I'm not mistaken. And then these stone throwers here. These things are a nightmare to deal with. And like I said, we're going to be seeing a fair bit of those too. But aside from the Egyptian warriors here and the stone throwers, there's not too many that are able to really counter my infantry particularly well. They will of course be able to counter these javelin throwers. But it's not like going up siding with Cleopatra against Ptolemy, where he starts spamming those bronze cavalry that he likes to spawn. Okay, so that might actually be enough units to really do the trick. Let's find out. I think it might actually be enough. But yeah, so my strategy is going to be as such. First we're going to take out the units here, then we're going to take on the capital and take care of it. Then finally we're going to move and take out this town center. And then finally we'll make a mad dash for that one. It might work, it might not. But we are going to find out once we get to it. 100 units, that's cutting it pretty close. Yeah, I am actually going to wait for one more set of reinforcements just for the sake of it, because that will then put us up to maybe 120 to 130 if I'm really lucky. And that will mean that we will actually be able to fight off the horde of enemies that I'm going to have to deal with. I know it may not look like much now, but just trust me on that. Well, I don't know. I might just be able to pull it off. Here come... Ooh. Okay, let's deal with these guys as quickly as possible. There we go. Another wave coming in. More stone throwers. It's another set down. We actually have them. We just have to take out the capital here. Now we can't act. The 2 tigers are down, which is unfortunate. The good news, well, not that it matters that much because we can't really save them anyways. There's no way to heal them, but we can at least go to these hospitals and heal our regular troops, but we don't really have that much time for that. Okay, now we are in position, so we can go ahead and make a mad dash for this one. Hopefully the... Yep, here comes their rush. So let's take out this tower. This should hopefully help us a little bit. Once we take out two tower, that will be all set to go. Alright, so the tower is toast. We can heal our guys and hopefully do the final mad dash and deal with the last set there. We have even more reinforcements, which is excellent news. Bad news is we won't be able to bring them in through there anymore because there are going to be ships and those towers there, but... Okay, so I think these guys might just have enough health to pull it off. We need one good push to make it. Unfortunately, we've got even more stuff heading our way. Come on, we almost got it. We did it! Just barely, but we did it. Alexandria has fallen to Caesar and Ptolemy's forces. Cleopatra has been brought before the boy pharaoh, and Caesar is content to let him decide his sister's fate. Julius now makes ready to return to Rome to solidify his power over his new empire. So yeah, that's... I absolutely admit to cheesing this one. Even still, I just barely survived anyways. Yeah, just barely big time. Just look at the health. Whew, that was... Yeah, it's... If we had not gotten it any sooner, we would have been completely toast. Now, here's the thing. If someone else had actually found a way to do the strategy legitimately, I would absolutely play this mission legitimate. Problem is, well, like I said, I've never seen anyone actually do it on YouTube, and I've actually looked around on forums and whatnot, and no one seems to have actually been able to do it legitimately on their own, at least as far as I can tell. The Cleopatra one, yeah, that is much easier than this. Siding with Cleopatra is much easier than siding with Ptolemy. So let's go ahead and see what the stats are. Summary. Ptolemy had the best military, just barely. They all matched for economy, and Cleopatra had the best society. Okay. She had 270. She was able to down 276 units, so she had the most kills. She also had the most losses at 422, and she already had an army size of 480. Now, Ptolemy did have a larger army size at this point. However, he was losing. Here's the thing. If I didn't have the army size that I actually did at the time, his units will get completely and utterly obliterated in the first go. They'll be able to crack the gates, but that will be about it. Ptolemy was able to raise 6 buildings, which is good. And let's see. I was able to take out 261 out of 81, and I lost 81. So, yeah, I took out about a little over half her army, but still it was... Yeah... as you could tell, I was running low on manpower big time. Wonder count. Alexandria, of course, had the most. I had the most heroes and the most research. Yeah, this was a fairly short video from the looks of things. But like I said, you have a... And you saw just how quickly Alexandria's troops just shot straight up from 200... She had, what, we'll say maybe 300 or so at this point, to 450 or whatever her max size was. 480 at this point. So, yes, things were not pleasant at all. And she still managed to shoot back up, whereas Ptolemy here wasn't able to... lost a good chunk of his forces here, and while he did recover a little bit, it wasn't by much by comparison. And this is just going to continue being a problem for Cleopatra there, and it only gets worse the longer the mission goes. So yeah. But I am, of course, going to be having 2 videos of this mission. I'm going to be having the one where I do it by siding with Cleopatra, and I'm going to be having this one. So if you want to see how this mission is played legitimately, provided, of course, you side with Cleopatra, please look at that video as well. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.